So it's been a month since we uploaded the video and 2 months since we actually made the terrarium that is now sitting in my living room. And we wanted to give a quick update about how the frogs are doing and how some of the plants are doing, some of the things we learned that went well, some of the things that we learned that didn't go well. Of course, we have Hillary because she helped plant the entire thing. Hillary, let's talk from your side how the plants did.
Hey, I mean, overall, it has been a great success. I'm particularly happy with the pothos up in the corner here. We oriented that underneath the fogger, and the drips from the fogger have completely sustained this plant. It is popping off, growing like a weed, and we've never had to water it once.
No, and that was something that we were kind of considering when we built it initially, was do we need to add a second misting head back here somehow or anything like that? And we really wanted to keep the original knockouts that are in the leaf habitat, and we were able to do it by, like you said, putting that fogger. So if you look right here, David will put some B-roll in there. That's the actual where the fog comes out and keeps the humidity up. So let's talk about the humidity. How have the plants been doing with humidity?
Oh, they're great. These are ideal conditions for all of these plants. Everybody's very happy. Great success all around, and it's relatively self-sustaining too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so the other thing that I'm really happy I did humidity-wise was putting in the sensor that automatically turns the leaf habitat on and off. So yes, you can turn that to a set schedule. That's a great initial way to automate your fogging setup. But by adding that sensor, which is just like an Amazon sensor that detects humidity and then turns a switch on and off, that's all it does. This thing has basically been, I live with it every single day for the past 2 months. Other than feeding them, I literally don't, and changing the water, I don't think I've done anything. So what about the frogs themselves? So there's 3 of them in here. They are White's tree frogs.
Yep.
My happy little boys. And they were named So Great by Rye Guy, and I'll be honest, I can't tell the difference between them yet, Rye. So once they get a little bit bigger and we start figuring out what they do, we'll show exactly who's who. But they've been hanging out a lot under the lights. Like I said, they like to sleep directly under the lights. And then at night, the telltale splat of a frog hitting the front of the leaf habitat's usually heard about 8 p.m. What have you been feeding them?
They love their crickets. Crickets are the primary food here. Mix in a couple other various insects as well. They've had mealworms. I put in a couple dubia roaches for them. Waxworms are a great treat. We're still working on hand feeding. With mixed
They're a little
success.
shy. They're a little shy
still.
What about, and the last thing, what about not successes? So what are some things that we've had troubles with?
Well, I mean, all our plants have been very successful. There is one casualty. Unfortunately, this fern down in the corner here did not make it, and I think that's just because it was not in the spray of the mister.
It may be worth adding a second misting head over on this side, just because this is one of the larger habitats that by the time it sprays everywhere, it kind of misses a little bit.
And overall, I mean, the loss of this fern is really inconsequential too. It still looks good in here.
And it provides some breaking down to keep the soil growing and happy, so we can look at that as a positive.
Happy accidents.
One thing I've noticed, okay, so I remember when we made the terrarium, we talked about this little waterfall being potentially a good idea, bad idea. And I'm very much on the fence, so if any of you have comments about that, because here's the 2 things I've noticed. Number 1, it needs water all the time. All the time. I fill that thing every single day, like with multiple cups of water. It just evaporates like almost immediately being in there. Even though the humidity is high, it just evaporates. So that's kind of a pain because you have to come in here and hand fill it. That's actually the highest maintenance thing in the entire terrarium.
Yeah, the fountain is higher maintenance than the frogs and the plants are.
And I'd be lying if I said I haven't kind of also turned it off for weeks at a time just because I'm tired of filling it every day. So I'd say that would be maybe not a win, but it does look good, so that maybe is a win. Some other things, and then when you fill it too, if you spill water, then you overdo your substrate, which literally just happened this morning. You may notice the substrate looks a little wet. So that's a problem. A thing that I do love is the big stick that holds that pothos in. That, again, we were hoping that it would work really well. We showed it in the first video. It's worked amazingly. And then everything's just really growing in nicely. What do you think in the future? What do you think we're gonna have to do or keep up on?
I mean, really, I'm not seeing a lot of maintenance that we're gonna have to do here. I mean, the thing we're probably gonna have to do is trim the pothos back because it's growing so much.
Yeah, which is, I think those are called good problems.
Yeah.
So we'll update you again in maybe, I don't know, 6 months, once these guys start to get a little bit bigger. David will shoot some good B-roll of these guys. You can see how they're looking right now. They are green and happy and growing, and they clean up every single cricket that gets put in there.
Sure do.
So anyway, hope you like the update of how these guys are doing. Check out the build video if you haven't seen it yet, and we'll see you soon.